To be able to say that I know my presence changed the life and the direction of a young man, that became the most important aspect of my life. I went to Long Beach Poly. In 1961, I was a middleweight champion of California, Arizona, and Nevada. At that time, got the most blessed experience of all. I got to spend almost a month with Ali when he was Cassius Clay. Was not only touched by his humor and his wit, but he was also a very spiritual man, and I think at that time I was striving for something like that. I did all the bad things that you don't want your son to do, you know, and there was a price to pay for it. And that stroke later kind of exemplified what that was about, even though that was many, many years later. I came out of an environment where there wasn't a lot of reason to trust those around you to do what was good and what was right. One of the people, I guess, that impressed me as much as anybody in this community was Mark. The city of Lancaster played a great deal in my growth and maturity, and Rex did also. And then I met this man who had such a presence, and that was Bishop Hearns. He not only had a presence, he had a way of communicating that presence to make one feel they could raise to that level of prominence within the community. I had my first home in Long Beach. I had a boys' home right in the heart of the inner city. The kids began to migrate toward me because I like doing what all kids like to do. I used to take them hunting. All the ones that grew up in my boys' home that became, for all intents and purposes, my children. There were youngsters that I had interacted with that I could give information that would deter them from thinking there was only one way to transcend what was going on. To have those things that a young man strives to have in his life when he begins to make decisions about his own manhood, that became very special, very special.
Community Contributor Award is a very high honor bestowed by Mayor Parris and the City Council on people that have had a lifetime of contribution to the Antelope Valley and Lancaster in particular. One of the things that I truly appreciate about Emmett, and he's taught me, is we don't always get along. I still don't get along and agree with everything of Emmett, and he doesn't agree with everything I believe in. But the thing he taught me and that he preaches and lives by is he believes truly in dialogue and redemption. From that has sprung a beautiful friendship, and a trusted friendship that is not based on thinking the same, but it's based on wanting the same thing.
One of the members of my church introduced me to Emmett, and we just kind of drew each other in right away. And I'm gonna guess that would have been more than 25 years ago. In the process of becoming acquainted with the Word, and he and his wife Stella became members of the church, and we began to work together and walk together. I anointed him and set him up as one of the elders of our church.
He's more than a contributor to the community. He's more like a pillar in a community. When I think of Emmett, Emmett's the kind of guy that everybody's welcome at his table. You know, he's just inviting. It doesn't matter what your background is. He's just going to love you and care for you. There is a scripture that I love. It's Isaiah 1:17. It says, "Learn to do good, seek justice, and to correct oppression." And he's just a man who's always going to fight for the good of others.
Emmett has a heart for this community. Emmett has put his blood, sweat, and tears into this community. He really loves the Antelope Valley, and he only wants this city and this community to become better. For a kid that grew up in the city, Emmett loves the outdoors. So him being a Buffalo Soldier is no surprise. He loves horses, he loves gardening, he loves anything that's outdoors. He was invited over a decade ago to become a Buffalo Soldier. He's ridden in the Rose Bowl Parade, he's ridden and represented the Buffalo Soldiers all over the country.
He is truly like a walking thesaurus as it relates to Black history. Intriguing, all the way, knows so much about it. I mean, he just rattles it off like it's nothing, and keeps you interested and engaged in spite of the challenge that he faces. He's a survivor.
A godly presence. He's given me the opportunity to see my great-grandkids, watch them begin to flourish. And he's given me the strength physically to not forsake my goal, my mission. And my mission hasn't changed.